So 5 hours.
One each for two. And then we're gonna go back to two. Okay, well,
Thank you. Oh, no, I'm good right now. Okay, before we get started, I just want to let y'all know this is a planning meeting for the Liberty Hill Improvement Council. We're going to be planning for this year, some of the things we're going to be doing this year. We asked all representatives of the organizations to come with their calendars so we can put it on one calendar and either collaborate together or, you know, maybe even so we won't overlap, just coordinate. Okay. We have on the tables over there, the bylaws. I sent an email, the bylaws to review. We're gonna review those so everybody has an understanding what the bylaws are. We have a proposed budget that has been passed by the board. It's based on the budget we passed last year and the activities that we've done in the past, is the cost factor that's on there. If we don't vote on it today, we can vote on it next time because we need those who haven't paid their dues to be current so you can have a voting voice. Regina's in the back. She's prepared to take anybody's dues. Dues $5 a month and $60 for the year. We also have January to December 2022 profit and loss accrued basis. Also have an evaluation form to evaluate our organization, let us know how we're doing, what things we can do to make it better. And then the voters registration form. I just want to get that out of the way, and now we'll open up the first. Oh, there's snacks in the back.
Given this time that we open up with prayer, can I get your attention to stand for the prayer, please? I mean, we don't usually do it, but I'm asking those who can. Our Father God, we come to you, I must know how good and how pleasant brothers do dwell together. Father God, we come to you asking you to guide and direct us. Thank you for allowing us to come from last year to this year. Those who have bereavement, we ask that you continue to bless those families. Father God, we ask that you come in the midst of this meeting, guide and direct us, and keep us moving forward. And in the end, Father God, we give you all the praise and all the honor. These blessing acts in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay. What we have running in the background is our proposed revitalization plan. We're already in the first phase doing rehab. We have 3 phases. First phase is rehab. Second phase is to build a Monterey corridor. And third phase is to help with green and affordable housing. So we're going to meet with the mayor on Monday at 11. And he told us last year to find some builders, find some investors, and find some developers and bring them to the table. And he will give them the perks to help with license. So that's what we're planning to do. Okay? So if it's always open, if you have any more suggestions, any concerns, let us know. Just know a lot of these suggestions came from the neighborhood. For the last 6 years, we've been planning the history, documenting the history of Liberty Hills. That's how we came up with the history group. There was a history committee back in 2016 that started, and they started gathering data. They started interviewing people, and a lot of these ideas came from the interviews that we've done over the years. Okay. We have a guest speaker today. We have Ms. Lynn Bowley. She's from Habitat for Humanity in Charleston, right? Oh, yes. And she has Ms. Amy Checo. And they're going to present. We want to welcome them from Habitat. Give them a hand. What they're going to present is a proposal they want to put in Habitat House here in the neighborhood. So I think they have 2 plans that you're considering. So I'll let them explain, and then we'll let them explain. If you have questions, you can ask them questions, and then we're going to allow them to leave, and then we'll go talk about the book later. Is that okay? Okay, so we're going to present Habitat for Humanity of Charleston.
So I'm the Executive Director of Charleston Habitat for Humanity. Our territory is the City of Charleston and the City of North Charleston. And we were granted 2 lots at the corner of Mint Avenue, 4739 and 4741. Because of the way the road curves, we are not able to build on one of the lots because the pin for the corner is underneath the road. So with the setbacks, that leaves us with only a little 7-foot strip. So what we are going to propose, I'll let Amy jump right in.
So the address for the properties that she's talking about is, it says Mint Avenue. It's 4739 and 4741 Mint Avenue. But we pulled up plots and everything. They're not actually on Mint Avenue. Wright Street, Independence Street, and then Mint Avenue. So they're right here on the corner. And it's 2 lots. And technically the property line, from what the surveyor can find, this is the last recorded plat from 1954. And so from that plat and trying to find the pins, the property line is actually out in the road. And so what's happened is the 2 lots are not, one lot is not buildable. Excuse me. Because the road is kind of into the lot. And so what we're looking to do, and hopefully we can get your support, would be to do a rezoning in order to build a duplex, to build 2 for ownership homes through the Habitat for Humanity program, which is everybody familiar with Habitat for Humanity and the ownership and how it works and the sweat equity? We won't go into that, but what we're trying to do is trying to bring 2 homes into the community, and they would be attached. So it would be 2 single family homes, to be sold to 2 different people, or 2 different families, on this one corner. And so right now it is 2 properties, but the one property is too small in order to build an adequate home. So that's basically kind of the whole plan. So we just kind of wanted to bring it to you guys. And you know, if you have any questions, we're here to answer any questions or address any concerns.
And so these would both be owned by the family. It'd be a 30-year mortgage. This is not any sort of rental property or short-term. It's not apartments. And even though they are attached, it would be 2 single families, and they would each have their own mortgage. And it would be like we do for 30 years with 0 interest, because that's the way Habitat does it. And the reason that we're asking this is because we housing shortage is so critical now, and affordable housing is probably the most critical part of the housing shortage. So if there's any way for us to get 2 homes, 2 families placed on these 2 lots, then that's what we want to do. And the only way that we can think of to do that is to combine them and make a joint duplex on the property.
So we haven't filed for rezoning. Definitely wanted to come talk to you guys first. I know that I think you kind of recently went through this at the city with somebody else trying to do the same thing.
They weren't ownership.
Right, they weren't ownership, so that's what kind of the difference.
So how will the residents or prospective residents be chosen, and how much are the houses?
So we have a whole program that we use to select our future partner families. There is an application process which is very extensive. Habitat holds the mortgage for all of our homes, so we vet our applicants like a bank would. So we get income statements. They have to earn between 35 and 80% of the area median income. So we get income statements, we get copies of all their debts, we get, just like a bank would be doing the mortgage. And these folks are typically hardworking families who just don't earn enough money to get a traditional mortgage. And that's where we can fill that gap and serve some of those underserved communities. We also do criminal records check, we do a sex offender registry check because we're Habitat, and we want our folks to be as upstanding character-wise as we could possibly have them be. It is just a snapshot in time, so we're not trying to be policemen or anything like that. We just want to get people who are poised for home ownership but are held down because they can't break out of that income. You know, you save $50 a month for a whole year, and then your alternator on your car goes out, and that's $600. Your whole year's savings is gone.
So these are affordable homes?
These are our whole year.
And so how much are they?
Well, we don't know because we haven't built them yet. So we haven't built a duplex yet. This will be the first one. I've been with Habitat for 5 years as the executive director, so we haven't built a duplex since I've been there. What we do is we take the income bracket of the person who has been selected who gets that house, and we make sure that they're not cost burdened when we sell them a house. So that means that it can't be more than 30% of their gross income going towards their household expenses. What we do is we have a silent second mortgage that sits on the property, and it represents the difference between what we sell the house to the families for and the appraised value at the date of sale. So often that's a $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 gap. We recently had one with a $250,000 gap between what we sold the house to the person for and what it appraised for. So that silent second mortgage is not ever paid on, nothing happens, it just sits there. If the homeowner pays off either early or on time or even late, it disappears when they pay off their mortgage. If they sell the house or are foreclosed on, that's when that second silent mortgage can come into play. And that keeps predatory purchasers from coming and taking advantage of some of these families who might be the first, it's the first time home buyers program, but it might be the first in generations of that family to actually own a home. And they don't have the sort of the institutional knowledge about how it all works. So let's say you bought your house for $120,000, it appraised for $200,000, that's an $80,000 gap. If someone comes to you and says, I'll buy it for $130,000 today, and you're thinking, dang, I made $10,000 in, I hadn't had this house a week, right? But that's not really what you get, right? Because you pay your mortgage back, so you only get $10,000. $10,000 is not enough to do a down payment on another house. It's probably not even enough to buy a decent car these days. So that second mortgage just sits there and protects both the homeowners, and of course we don't want anybody who's purchasing to flip. We want homeowners who are committing for the long term. We want them, I mean, we put a lot of effort into our selection process. We have a committee who meets and discusses all the applicants, and we go out and meet them in their homes. We talk to them about their dreams and what their struggles are. We look at their housing, the condition of the housing that they're living in. So it's basically a three-pronged selection. It's your ability to pay, because you have to be able to pay back that mortgage. It's their willingness to partner with us. So that means you do your sweat equity, which is volunteer hours with us, either in our store, on the construction site, where you're building on other people's homes first, and then eventually you're building your own home, and people who are coming behind you in the program are helping you. So we're creating that community of folks who are all similarly situated. And then, well, it's for a single applicant, it's 400 hours. Mhm. Which, it takes about 18 months for them to complete the program. With the hours, the sweat equity hours, they also do 20 hours of financial classes designed to teach them the ins and outs of reading the mortgage statement and how to budget successfully. For the most part, by the time they get to be a partner family with a habitat, they already know how to budget, because they've already risen to the top of the people who we're looking at as being ready for homeownership.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said the property that was donated to you, can you get away with building one house instead of duplex?
We could build one house. We could build one house on the lot on the left. That would mean that the lot on the right is just empty forever.
How much would be on the right left over?
I
I heard number 7, I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a 7-foot buildable slice. And I don't know what the measurement is, the rest of the
I
measurement.
think the setback is 20 feet from the road, so we can use that as a.
Right.
So it's
Is there-
buildable,
yeah.
it's 7 feet, it's 7 feet.
Okay.
For the house.
Yeah, so, but if there is a way for us to give 2 homes to 2 families, that is what we want to do. I mean, land is a premium now, so being able to use it as responsibly as possible and give as many homes to as many folks as we can, that's what we're trying to do.
And right now it's R1, right? That-
Right.
Right now it's
R1.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all for your,
Well,
More?
I have a concern.
Okay,
As you know that we projected with the R2 on the Q Street. So you're saying that you're going to apply for an R2 for this area here?
so we're not doing anything without getting the support of this community. That's where we are. We're coming here to ask you for your support. We're not going to move forward and make everybody go through that circus again. The difference between what was happening on Q Street and what's happening here is that these will be homeowners. They will own their home and have a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah, I understand that. But my concern is this: once we open the door to let you change to R2, everybody else is gonna come back in and try to do that. And we really don't want that. We're trying to restore Liberty Hill as we once knew Liberty Hill.
Sure.
So I'm one that I'm definitely against it, and that's the reason I'm doing it, because I applaud you for trying to help who don't have a home to own a home. But if you can do this one, I don't have a problem with that. Let it stay R1.
Right.
But I just don't want to see R2 come back into the community. I don't think we ever had R2 in there. I'm born and raised here on Liberty Hill, and I think
And that's
probably.
why we're here, because we want to hear your voices and we want to understand the dynamics of the community. And we definitely want to give as many affordable homes to as many low-income families as we can. This is the only way that we can think of to do it on those 2 lots. We're really excited. We've got 2 people already picked out. And so now one of them is going to have to wait until we find something else.
But we'll talk about it, we'll discuss it among ourselves, so, and then we'll be back.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you guys letting us
Thank
come
you.
and talk to you anytime.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you do.
Sure.
Okay, next we will have, since code enforcement was here, we have court enforcement and then, we have our resource officer.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, you know, we had a great, I guess, 2022. I'm back for 2023. They allowed us to stay in the same area this year. Okay.
Will that change?
Most likely, as far as me, I don't know. They haven't said anything. Uh-huh. Well, we changed districts. So, you know, it depends on, I guess, if it changes, when that change occurs. I guess we'll move with that number that we associated with, but we don't really know. Yeah, the new rezoning is crazy. But, this month and a half or so, we've been tasked to really focus on inoperable vehicles that have been sitting. So that is my task in my community right now. So if you have any, see any, know of any, no, go ahead and get the word out, because that's what we're doing, or what I'm doing.
Do y'all have any, this programs that they need, people to donate their vehicles and they write off? You know,
We can always do that to the kidney.
The kidney, yes, I don't know if they give anything anymore, or if they just come pick it up. Just pick it up. Okay. But, I think, I'm gonna know, that's all I really know.
So I have a question for you.
Yes,
You are patrol, Liberty Hill is your area?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need to talk with you.
Okay.
Because I live on Louis Street.
Mhm.
And I think I might have spoke with you on the phone.
Okay.
4881 Louis Street, Joy. About cars parked alongside. Okay,
We are working.
you working on that?
Yes.
Because I was about to pay y'all a visit.
I was over there today.
Huh?
I was over there today.
Okay, but I still need to talk.
I got you.
Who do you need?
Anything else for me?
thank you so much, appreciate it.
Yes, please, please. This is your call.
All right, we have our, resource officer report. Hi, we're all geared up.
So this is our new carriers. They actually, take all the weight off your hips and just put it on your back.
Wow.
So it's actually it's supposed to help with hip and back pain
Okay.
for, like the future.
That's
So,
nice. How cool.
So I normally, Park Circle and Charleston Farms. I was asked to fill in. I'm not sure if they're signing here, but if they are, that's fine.
What's your name?
Officer Hobart.
Cool.
Hobart, Hobart. I did get a list, and it looks like there was only one crime reported, and it was on December 18th. It was vandalism by gunfire. Looks like somebody's vehicle was struck by bullets, unfortunately. That's the only thing that they listed on there. I didn't know if y'all had any concerns or anything that I could pass on, because I'm not sure who the actual resource officer is for this area. They might be giving it to me, which is fine.
Okay.
So and then I can
He
just,
had pot, is it pot?
yeah, Sergeant Potts, yes. Yeah, he's my supervisor.
Okay,
So-
he's been attending.
Okay.
So you may,
Do y'all have any questions or anything?
When are they gonna change, put some signs, speed signs on main highway on Montague Avenue on this side? I noticed on railroad track, the next one, I don't see nothing, maybe one, so, and everybody comes in here. Well, first of all, my name is Ron Bryant,
Mhm.
and I'm the Liberty and building, or what you wanna call it. And, I just came back from, being abroad, all different places. And I look right on the corner, and these people be speeding, when that train come there and cut them off, you can't blame them, because it's a hassle having the train stop.
Mhm.
They come down these side streets,
They
like,
just do 100.
and they be speeding like that. In fact, they speed so much the other night, they ran over the stop sign. And,
Do you know who those, these, the
I don't
roads
know,
that
I
he's
don't
talking
see-
about,
I
are
don't
they
see- I don't
state
see-
or are
they
they,
should.
do they belong to the city?
That's what I'm saying.
They belong to the state, so that's gonna have to be something that DOC, I'm sorry, that's
I don't know.
addressed with DOT.
I'm the right person for me to ask.
That's gonna be a DOT, like getting more speed limit signs, that's gonna be DOT.
Yeah, okay. And the lower speed limit,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's DOT as well.
it's much too fast.
Now, they might reach out to the department to do like a, what do they call it, a speed study, where they put that sign out. And every time a car passes and gets their speed, they might use that to help
Well, that,
with the
that,
decision,
anything helps.
but,
I'm surprised somebody didn't get killed on that highway.
yeah,
They drive
unfortunately,
wild on that highway.
especially when the train stops.
Yeah. they do the same thing overall, because I got Charleston Farms, they do it at the one by the, is that Walgreens CVS right there? And, they go down,
Oh, yeah,
that side road,
yeah,
all the business owners right there, there's a bunch of mechanic shops right there, and they say the same thing.
yeah.
So, I'm gonna leave my, email with you. I'll, write it down.
I'll wait for you. Make it easier. I'm sorry.
I also have our, police therapy dog. I don't have her with me tonight, I left her at the house. But, I have a chocolate golden doodle, and I can bring her here, one night. She doesn't bite. I've had her since she was 12 weeks. Her job is to be petted and comfort people in, traumatic incidents. So she's been on a couple of domestics and a couple of mental health calls with minors, and then she goes to the schools. I got a reading program with kids, and then, community events.
Okay, so that's one of your years.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah, so normally I have her with me, but I left her at the house, so.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, sir.
I have another question. I get phone calls a lot about Nesbitt and Gary Avenue on the other side of Montague. How the guys park alongside the road. We have ticketed to the chief, we have ticketed our officers. Anything we can consistently get that done?
So I would just keep calling dispatch and they'll send us out there, and then that officer will determine if it's legally parked or not. If it's not, then they can tow it or have the owner tow it, depending on where it's at. So,
This guy's hanging out, it's not,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, I would just, do y'all have the non-emergency number for dispatch? Because I can give that to y'all as well. It's 843
Mhm.
743
Mhm.
7200, and that's consolidated dispatch. I believe you hit one whenever it starts with the promise, and it'll take you straight to a call taker.
Oh.
So, all right. Y'all have any other questions or anything I can help you out with? No? All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate
All right,
it.
you'll have a good show.
Nice to meet
Thanks.
you.
All right.
Okay, we will dispense with the minutes. We're just gonna ask everybody to, if they need to review, to go back on the, YouTube or Facebook page and look at the last meeting. Right now. We want to welcome aboard Dexter, right? Dexter, and voted in as our chaplain, parliamentarian, our last meeting, so let's give him a hand. And, at the end of the year, our assistants are only according to our bylaws, are only held responsible for a year. So the position came open for the treasurer, assistant, and Pop was nominated, and is James Wilson here? So he got that position again this year. Let's get the man. Okay. Next, we will have our committee reports. We're going to start with the financial report. Improvement Council financial report. And also, there's the financial report for the year. It's on the table from January to December. It's approved. Just the balance, because they have a report.
Oh, they got a report?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So, starting in January, we had $1,176, and I can't see the change, because this thing is, I just can't see the change. So we made, some purchases, and our balance is now $1,023.80.
And then we operate off our dues, and we've been applying for certain different grants or funding, and we do get some, but we don't get much. So we're asking everybody to try to pay your dues tonight. That's $5 a month and $60 for the year. Regina's ready in the back. And to even keep you active with voting, because your dues got to be current. Usually if you don't pay within 3 months, you're not eligible to vote, but if you don't attend within 3 months or 3 meetings, you're not eligible to vote. Okay, we're gonna go to redistricting. We're gonna get through our guests first, and then we'll let them leave, and then we'll go through all the other meetings. So redistricting, we have Van Hinken, Corey Van Hinken. He's going to explain about the redistricting. On your tables, I think you're going to do draft 11? Are you going to see?
What's again?
Are you doing draft 11 or are you going to see? Okay. So he's going to present what the city of North Charleston is going to propose for a new redistricting map. And then Mr. Marion Welch was commissioned to do a draft. It took him 11 tries to do a draft to try to make it fair. And those are on the table. And it breaks down the districts per race. If you look at that, it could explain it. And then this page. Y'all may have to share. I did a lot of printing, There's probably 2 per table.
I just think the map, I just everybody got the map.
And then the green area is District 8. We're proposing to put us in District 8.
Can everybody sort of see this?
Yes.
All right, like I said, I guess what they're trying to do, looks like what they're trying to do as far as the city is, include Liberty Hill in the District 8, which is Park Circle. So they're using the rail line to break it down. And as you can see, the percentages in District 8, African American wise is, it's down to 43%. But what they're also doing is throughout the city, you got time to voice your opinion if you don't want to be included in District 8. But I would like to ask everybody how they feel about that being included in the old Park Circle area in District 8. Don't like it? Go ahead.
Just
the question, so what are the advantages and or disadvantages for being included? I mean, so we're 7 right now, right?
Yeah, 7, yeah.
And so if we were included in Park Circle, does that mean we get a new community center? I'm just asking, I don't know, I'm just asking.
You know what, I sat down with the mayor this morning for about 3 hours, we were sitting there talking about that, and he was talking about ideas for a new community center, believe it or not. I guess annexing it to the, senior center, moving the community center down, but he was last term, so I don't know how true that's gonna be. Well, sorry. I shouldn't have said
From my understanding, the most important thing when you start redistricting people is what kind of representative you will get.
That's true
That's
too.
the most important thing, because.
Exactly,
If that person not gonna represent you, then you need.
that's a good point too, so I don't know, and as we all know, Bob King is in District 8. I don't know if he's running for reelection or not, maybe not. I think, to me, I know most people disagree with Libya going to District 8, but I think it's somewhat an advantage to going into District 8, because you got 2 historic neighborhoods. Even though you have influence on power on who's being elected, Bob King may not be running and stuff like that, and I will say this.
This is streamed by YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, snap. Guess I can't say it. No, just kidding. No, even though it's a majority white district, you actually got real liberal white folks over there who actually, believe it or not, I hang out over there a lot. They kind of care about Liberty Hill with 2 historic districts. I know y'all might not trust it or something like that, but. Oh, somebody says something?
I second that.
Second one, on,
I don't believe that.
oh, okay,
That's what you
okay.
said, and I second that.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about being diluted now.
I mean, true, but the problem you got on this end is you got population loss on this end. That's why they're sort of forced to do that to some degree, because if you can see right here, this is Westcott, and this is like a small patch, right? It's like a small patch of a district. But now North Chester is the second largest city in Dorchester County. That's how much they're growing up here. So that's why Brown District down here, all the way down the HIC area, all that stuff had to raise up. This right here is Dorothy Williams, District 6, I believe, or something like that. And see how large it is? Even though it's large like that, she lost a lot of population, so that's why they had to spread it like that. And that's why they had to eat. In this part over here, I don't know if y'all know about the new project, the new part of North Charleston, that's in West Ashland. I'm on the planning commission, so they get like 8,000 houses, which aren't being accounted for just yet, because it didn't happen before the census. And that's Watson Hill on the Dorchester side. But,
That's gonna be included.
it's gonna be included in whatever district this is. I forgot what district that is. That's somewhere up there by West or something like that. So,
District 9.
9, it's 9, okay. It's District 9. So, but like I said, they weren't accounted for just yet because you didn't have any residents until like a few months ago or something like that. But, what I would say, if you don't agree with Liberty Hill being included in Park Circle area, they're gonna have, I'll give you the date. It is the 24th? Yeah, 24th of January on Tuesday. You can voice your opinion as far as giving input on how you want these lines to be drawn. If you want to be, if you're not okay with it. I wish Mr. Hart's been here so you can expound on it. Okay. But yeah, they're gonna be having it, spread the word out about this, January 24th. Let everybody know so they can voice their opinion if they want to be included in that Liberty Hill area. NWCP on the website itself, they got a proposed map. I don't have the map because I was in there. Felix Finke helping them draw up the map. And they had it where District 7 sort of stayed the same, except they included all Liberty Hill. But I didn't realize this until the mayor told me this today. The problem you're gonna have with their map, which seems like a pretty fair map, based on how they got drawn, is certain neighborhoods or certain part of the district are in another county, not another county council line. So you try to keep it congruent, like say this is Darby district, you don't have like District 7 and part of it's in Darby and then part of it's in, let's say, Tandy Pride, something like that. You want to keep the district all in the one district. So that's the problem with NWCP map. But as you most may know, you can draw a map 100 million different ways, because you can take those lines and just You just gotta have a map expert to sit there and draw it for you. But like I said, if you don't agree with this, I suggest you go to that meeting, voice your opinion, and they'll hopefully, they gotta get it done by, probably July, because elections this year, so everybody gotta know what city council district is.
Where's it gonna be held?
It's gonna be at City Hall. I'm trying to think, on that third floor.
Third floor.
Yeah, in the
Chamber.
district. Huh?
The
No,
chamber.
so it's gonna be in the chamber itself, okay, I was the music.
What time?
5 p.m.
24th of January, you said?
Yes, sir.
And we'll double check at 5 p.m. Sit down.
I got 5 on the website.
And just note, the breakdown for District 8, as they're proposing, is 51.89% white, 43.29% black, and 4.83% minority, other minority, which makes it 48.12 minority and 51.89 white. So that's the breakdown of that.
District,
That
yeah,
right.
District 8.
And I think District 7, as we sit now, is like 60% black.
Yeah, well, it could be. Like I said, the new census numbers came in, so it might not still be that same 60.
Okay,
But as proposed from 2010, yes, it's 60.
about 60% black
Yeah.
and 40% white.
But I'm pretty sure you can look that way once they, if you was to redraw that map and keep the same.
They said the census, the 2020 census came back, it's almost 50/50.
Yeah. Because North Charleston whites have, kind of, I didn't realize this, they got like a 2% edge on black people in North Charleston. All because you lost all those houses, lost all those people in the southern end.
Can you go over those colors again, please?
On the lavender, on the.
You know what, I forgot the district numbers, I was only concerned about looking here. I know this is District 6. I know definitely that's District 10, which is Senior Mike Brown District. This should be, I forgot what district number this is, but I know it's Jerome Hayward's, the pink.
District 4.
4, yeah, please help me out, yeah. And above him is Michael Brown, I think that's young Michael Brown, that's District 1. And like I said, this is District 6 in the middle. I believe this is Virginia Jameson's district?
Yes.
She's 3, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And up top, I forgot what Skipper and,
Skipper's not.
Skipper's 2.
Skipper's not. He's like-
oh yeah, that's right, on the Ashley River side. This should be, what's the one who had the fight?
Brinson.
Brinson, yeah.
Brinson is either 4 or 5. It's either Brinson 4 and Rome 5. Which one sits close to the mayor? Is that?
Who sits close to the mayor?
Yeah, who's close to the mayor?
Jerome, you say Hayward?
Rome's 5, Brinson's 4.
4, okay. Like I said, that's, so you sort of got a handle on it?
Sort of.
I can clarify with you on my computer, so you can have better directions. Please voice your opinions if you don't approve of the map, because they gotta get it done sooner.
You have my email?
No, I sure don't.
I'm gonna send my email, then I.
And distribute it to everybody, okay.
When they plan to put that into effect? When are they planning to go into effect?
Like I said, the 24th is when the first hearing, I don't know the
You
dates after.
don't know the day after.
After that, no, they'll probably announce it then on, because the city council got to vote on it themselves. So I suggest y'all, if you don't approve of it, allow you, Sandbar, to make a difference and change.
Any other questions?
Any more questions?
Any input?
Anybody? All right,
Thank you so much.
sure, no problem.
Okay, we move on to the beautification committee. That's.
Good evening. Last week, Craig and I, Mr. Hart's got information from code enforcement for cleaning his yard. And, so we went out ourselves, cleaning his yard. And, I told her about it before she left. There's other jobs that we want to do, I think on the next month, the 20th February the 18th. There's a couple of jobs we want to do. We want to get with Mr. Darby to get okay to do another property. We don't go about just doing it, but those who may need help, I will help. For those who are able to do it yourself, you know, I'm getting the age too, so find a way. But, you know, I'm willing to help and I'm happy to do it. So we can find time, and the young guys in the community call me and they told me they want to help. So we're trying to find things for the young men in the community to help do. Maybe a trash pickup, something. You know, I want to do all this to get warm because a lot of people don't take care of their yard, and I know snakes out there, and I don't agree with them. So we're trying to get it done now before it gets too hot. And also, we're talking election. There's some registrations for elections on the table over there. I would challenge everyone to get two. I'll find 2 people. I'm asking everyone else to find 2 people to get registered so we can do this election. So, and a lot of people believe that they can't vote because they went to jail. But I believe if one brochure over there, if you fulfill your duties, you can vote. You know, so please, I challenge each one of you to try to get 2 people. And next one, if we need more, we'll do it again. All right, thank you.
So let's give him a round of applause. I hope keeping the senior yards clean. They're always on their post, so we thank Mr. Craig and Deacon Wright. And then he pretty much gave the political action report. Manisha and Sister Barbara will be the liaison. We will not have an official chairperson, so they will be the liaison to get information to the committee. And also, we're going to partner with the churches, because a lot of times the churches have voters registration. So instead of reinventing the wheel and doing it all ourselves, we're going to partner with the other entities. Because in the past, Deacon Price worked at the gym and they did voters registration, so he kind of included us as part of that. So, okay. Special relief committee, special relief needs. Sister Vicky? Oh, no. No. Okay. Another committee we added, this was approved by the board, is that we need a comprehensive plan for the Hill. Back in August, we had a 8-hour meeting with Nancy, who has done a comprehensive plan for Liberty Hill, and we're going to update it. To update that plan is going to cost $75,000. And I don't know, you know, I don't have that, but we don't have it in our budget, so. We're gonna spend it. But it's been asked that we have a comprehensive plan meeting. So I will open up the floor for volunteers to help work on finding someone that can do a comprehensive plan and to do it economically. Are there volunteers for our new comprehensive plan meeting?
I'll volunteer.
Okay. Anyone else? And comprehensive plan is the overall structure of Liberty Hill, the underground. I think you got the underground electrical they're gonna put in, the underground pipes, stormwater. So it's the whole schematic. We have a developer here and he probably can explain a little bit more about what a comprehensive plan will entail. But it's all inclusive of the inner workings of Liberty Hill, not just the houses, not just the buildings. It is the actual structure of what it takes to even run a community. Okay. So, any others? No engineers, no architects, no? No, that's right. Would you like to be on that?
Yeah.
Okay, we got electrical engineer in the house. Right? Electrical engineer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah, that's it. Any architects in the house? Okay. All right, we have 2 thus far. You can always join. Doors always open. Okay. We also, want to start an ARB, which is Architecture Review Board. We would like for that board to be open to the residents of the So, if anyone's interested who are a resident of Liberty Hill, will volunteer for that board, Architectural Review Board. I don't even have that board. Anyone else? Any residents here want to be? Even if you're stakeholder. Many of you have residents that you manage. Oh, the Architectural Review Board is a board that, it will slow down gentrification because these houses that they're throwing up now, they will have to come through that board to get approval to build a house. So we can dictate how the house is gonna look. Time frame is built, the specifics on the colors and driveways and all of that. So it's almost like being part of the HOA. So, but it will definitely slow down gentrification because the builders and the developers gonna have to come get the approval of that board first. Okay, y'all think about it. But, cookies were first and Lisa. So we'll get that rolling. All right. Next, we will have, we'll let you know, we are meeting with the mayor on Monday. Just like I said, top of the meeting. Last year when we met with the mayor, this was the redevelopment group and the improvement council, the mayor told us to bring the builders, bring the developers, bring the contractors, and he will give them the perks to help them. So we did find some builders. We've been working with them with the rehab, first phase, and contractors, and even a developer. So with that said, I'm going to ask the redevelopment group to explain what they have planned for the year, and then introduce one of the developers. Amen?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Right now, we're in the middle of phase one with the rehab of Liberty Hill. In essence, we're working on two phases at once because we're working phase one with the rehab, but it is critical that we go directly into phase two so that we can get more buy-in from community, county, state, and everyone else. The reason being, we have the growth to our north in Park Circle. We have the growth to our south over in Montague, and then we look over to the east, and we look at Danny Jones. You know, we want to put some investment in the community. We want to make sure that as people are not just passing through Liberty Hill, but we want to give them a reason to stop and spend some money. Because Liberty Hill, historically, we had many corner stores. We had barber shops with an S. We had beauty shops. We still have two mortuaries, but the community could turn over the dollar several times before it left Liberty Hill. Now it's only turning over once. So what we want to do is we want to introduce a gas station. We want to introduce a bank, and we want to have a grocery store. And see, I'm glad you said it, because when we introduce the grocery store, we want people that's passing through. We have 10,000 cars that pass through every year. Okay, we want them to stop and spend some money. And what we want to do also is when we get some of these entities in the community, we want to have some that will be co-ops, that will be owned by the community. Okay, if it's owned by the community, it does a lot. One, it brings jobs into the community. but it also will stop a couple of things. One, theft. You don't steal from yourself, okay? Two, it will stop, one thing that we have in our community, that we have to stop. We have to stop hooking each other up. You can't make money hooking each other up, okay? Because if my buddy, has a barbecue stand, I pay full price every time I go to his thing. And I go in there and work. But I tell him, I say, you cannot make money giving me free food. Okay? Because I can afford to buy it. I mean, yeah, I love to do that. So, I mean, so those are some things that we have that's coming into the community. Like Ms. Young said, we have builders that we've dealt with in the rehab arena. We had about 10 over the course of the last year. We rehabbed 32 houses thus within the last year. We had an operating budget of a little over $560,000. Of that $560,000, we still have $230,000 that we need to spend immediately. So we have to do some more fundraising to get some more money. And 32 houses at $320,000, that's tremendous. That's tremendous because the building materials are extremely high. The building cost is extremely high. But we've actually had the contractors to work with us, and we've gotten 32 houses fixed with, less than $500,000, 32 houses, you're doing great. Raised almost $600,000 within a year, that's doing excellent. Okay, so we want to continue to do that. And in doing so, we've enlisted Palmetto Community Developers, and Mr. Dukes is with Palmetto, and he's going to come and give you some information as to what we are, we partner with them so that they can help us to go to the next step, the next phase. Because again, we're in phase one, going into, 1 and 2 together. And we talked with some of the residents about leasing their property, not selling, leasing their property so they can make money forever on that property instead of making a little bit right now and spending it tomorrow. So this is what we're trying to educate the folks in the community about. But if anybody have any questions of me before Mr. Dukes comes? Yep. Yeah, the information about Mr. Dukes is here in this packet. And without further ado, Mr. Dukes.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As Ms. Mitchell said, my name is Joseph Dukes. I'm one of the principals for Palmetto Community Developers. My partner, Alyssa, is in Spartanburg traveling today, so she is since apologies for not being able to be here. So I want to give a little bit of background to why me and Alyssa formed our business so you kind of understand where we're coming from. I grew up about an hour north from a small town called Lane, South Carolina. Don't special search on Google that. I just stepped over from King Street just to save them the time. That's why I grew up straight down 32 that way. And Alyssa grew up just outside of Dillon, South Carolina. We met one another pretty much we had since my wife, and we were talking about some of the issues that face Black and brown people in South Carolina. Alyssa's background is that she was the deputy chief of staff for Senator Scott up until the end of last year in his state director. My background is I work for a nonprofit bank. I'm a banker by trade, if you will. And I meet with a lot of people who look like us, and I go into these rooms and there's like a housing deficit, or they don't have the right facilities for their places, and they often are overlooked by the people in their communities, or like who are supposed to be serving their communities, if you will, and they don't have the tools to really lift themselves up, have the desire, but not necessarily the person to get on the phone and help them build themselves up. And that's where me and Alyssa thought we can kind of bridge the gap. I have the knowledge on like helping people one-on-one on like building wealth for themselves. Alyssa has the political connections to make things happen. So when we spoke to Ms. Young and Mr. Mitchell, and they were talking about what they want to do here in Liberty Hill, it was like the first project we came across since we partnered up, and kind of that really resonated with us of what we want to do as a business. Our goal, our overarching goal as a business, that we want to help Black and brown people build wealth. We don't want to be the typical developer who comes and extract it. We have a three-pronged approach what we believe we do for Liberty Hill. One is that we want to be able to do like a capital campaign to help y'all raise funds and leverage the successes you all already have here to help build on those successes so you're not taking all your cash out. I tell people when I talk to them, like one-on-one's a client, cash is king. We're on camera, aren't we?
Yes.
So check my all right, so when I meet with clients, I tell them, cash is king. When you see someone buy, like, I use the NFL team, you think they paid $4 billion out of their personal bank account? They borrowed that money, right? So why would you, hardworking individuals, take the money you work for to build this organization and give it to someone else? Debt is a bad word. I'll start saying debt is like a 4-letter word. Yes, but you use that incorrectly. But if you use that correctly, you can use your cash to leverage it and do more for yourself and control your expenses. So what we want to do is help you all raise funds to raise cash, number one, so you can let them take the cash that you raise and leverage that to do more affordable housing, do more facilities, so you don't have to go ask other people to help you. There's people out there who want to invest in communities like this, but let's not know how to reach those people. On the second front, I care deeply about affordable housing. The average house cost on Charleston is almost $600,000. Most people can't afford that, right? You ever look up your home on Zillow and you're like, man, my house ain't that big. Why is it worth that? Because dirt ain't cheap here. So and I tell people when I go to the house, say, the worst thing you can do here is sell your house if you don't have somewhere else to go. You got to find somewhere else to live, and most likely it's going to cost you 2 times what you're already paying for. And having a home is the quickest way to build wealth. What happens to a lot of Black communities is that people sold their homes for a drop in the bucket, and all the wealth just left. And with the wealth leaving, the people left. And I'm sure being here in Liberty Hill, where I grew up, all the people like me left and then come back, and they don't give that. So, but for what Valerie and Craig, what you all want to do is y'all want to build a place where the kids stay, correct? Correct. So you have to make the community a place for people willing to stay. You all have the tools in place to do that. It's just going to take some ingenuity. It's going to take some toughness to get through the hard times and push people to go make them a little uncomfortable to give to you and say, hey, you put the street through here in a pretty much what made it thoroughfare to do North Charleston through your community. It's time for us to be paid for that and put back the pride in Liberty Hill. I'm not from here, I'm not going to pretend to be here, but I've seen the plight all over the state, and we have a passion for it. The third prong, if you will, is going to help us. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Will you qualify couples to afford the houses?
I was telling Valerie, but anything I could do personally, and it's not, that only call it like a charge for y'all. If you need someone to say, hey, I need to talk about like being in a purchase house and get my finances in order, I'm here for that. My thing is like, we took the job, I feel free for creative sharing this. We took the job, it was more so like a passion project for us. We didn't come in and charge our full freight. We knew this was an opportunity really to help the community who needed it. And between Alyssa and myself, we feel that we're the ones to really help you all take what you've done to the next level. I'll stop rambling there, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
It's only one of you?
No, Alyssa is my partner.
Okay, and it's only 2 of you?
Yep.
So far, so we'll have to only deal with 2 people.
Only 2 people. Yes, sir. And
Do
this
you
is what.
Do you know of any more who's that same idea, start like you? To help out, because 2 people is not enough for a whole.
You got 2 people who have extensive Rolodexes. Let's put it that way.
A lot of resources.
A lot of resources. Like we're few in number, but we are a lot of people that we know we can touch. Just given the nature of our careers, like I know my bios in there, but I work for Governor Haley. I work for City of Columbia. I've been a city advisor in Charleston for 5 years now. Alyssa's worked for the senator for 3 years, I believe.
Oh yeah, I'm not questioning that, not what you mean. I just basically,
It's hard to find people. It's hard to find people who want to do what we're trying to do. And that's when we realized that it's not just a niche or an opportunity for us to make money for ourselves. Doing this, it's a passion that we believe firmly in. In order for you to do this type of work, any type of work we do with communities that have been overlooked or underappreciated, you can't go in there kind of half, I'm gonna be honest, you can't go in there half-ass. Right. You have to go in there and be willing to get your hands dirty and do stuff. The thing that me and Alyssa kind of bonded over is that we had the same mentality and stuff. We don't like no mess. We about getting the job done, and we want people to be treated fairly. So yeah, it's just me and her, but I dare to say there's not two better people to do this for you all. Yes, sir.
Are there any other projects that has a unique dynamic like this you worked on before, or?
Yeah, in different capacity. So like before I came to Charleston, I worked for the city of Columbia.
Yeah.
So like a lot of redevelopment, if you go to this black communities, that's kind of where I figured out like this is what I need to be doing, because I dealt with like politicians on the back end on the day to day. Yeah, like I did like, for instance, I did like HUD compliance. So I can tell someone, hey, I come to the community and say, you spend your money for this, you need to write a proposal this way, you get funded for it. And I kind of shoot you straight on what you need to do. And dealing with that and knowing what the politicians need to see, what the residents need to see, I always was able to bridge the gap. Any other questions? Oh, I forgot the third part, I got carried away. So we talked about raising capital, doing affordable housing. The last thing is that we want to do like a feasibility study. And I'm going to use that term, but essentially what we're going to do is like look at the assets of the community and how we can best leverage those assets going forward and put together a 5-year plan. What you all have done with like what you hope to build for the community is a great start. But I first saw, I was like, man, y'all kind of like further down the line than most people we talk to. I've talked to the whole cities that don't have a plan at all. We want to take that plan and put it in bite-sized samples for people, the politicians who want to have to be on the other side of proving that, and just gradually make them come to our side on why they should do this. Everything you have, everything you need is right here in this room. What we have to do is make other people see it. And the only way you're gonna get them to see it is that you can't beat them over the head with, you have to take small victories to win a war. You don't win a war in one battle. You'll win it over time, wearing them down and being persistent. And that's what we're gonna do. Did I cover my third part?
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
Any other questions for me? I don't want to hang around, so like, I'm not going to.
Do you have a business card?
I do, somewhere.
And keep in mind, and this.
And I give one back, I give my cell phone number.
And y'all welcome, whoever wants to take the packet.
Yeah.
The packet has, who they are, the developer, and the builders that we work with, and have done a good job. So you can take that packet with you, that's fine. And then the contractors that work with us under these builders, and then the lawyers, that we have retained, our insurance company, the CPA firms we retain in our financial project.
And this is a more color, like I do the financial part, unless it's a lawyer by trade. She's gonna get mad at me if I don't mention what she went to law, so she went to Harvard Law. I went to South Carolina State University. I'm a proud bulldog. Amen. And I have a master's in public administration. I went to South Carolina, not by choice, by force or proximity.
I know.
I wanted to go to a good school, no disrespect. Oh, I'm sorry, my cell phone number is 843-743-3321. Joseph, last name Dukes, like the mayonnaise, minus the money.
Of course, when we first spoke with him, we had to work on him to make sure that he was one of us. With that last
One of
name,
y'all.
with the last
My
name,
parents did
we're
a
like,
good job though, make sure I don't get discriminated on job applications.
Not David.
No, not no relation to David. Duke. Thank you.
We all love these things. Thank you very much. Let's give them Okay, so now we're gonna try to see if we can make a calendar for this year. See what organizations are doing what. So let's start with the union group, if you don't mind. And see what activities you have for this year, some of your goals and objectives for this year.
Okay. In Pivot Group, we have a small calendar this year. But, and I failed to mention earlier, but we're gonna try in June to do something for Juneteenth. We don't have the date yet, but I think Juneteenth is the 16th, 17th, and 18th of June. So maybe one day, maybe all 3 days, the weekend. I don't know, but we'll have to work on that. Okay, and then in September, we're gonna have a heritage banquet and reunion. And that's on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of September. November 16th, we usually do Thanksgiving. And then we're gonna try Christmas on the Hill on December 3rd again.
And keep in mind, this year, we usually work with other groups, collaborate with them, like Next Generation. I think, Ms. Darlene made sure that they had all the Easter eggs, remember the Easter egg hunt they did? And you went and got the Easter eggs to collaborate with them, for the Easter egg hunt. Also the back to school program, we partner with Next Generation and Going Back to Church. We help them with supplies for that. Next Generation Oktoberfest, we help them with that, supplying hot dogs and hamburgers. And then their volunteer appreciation program in November, we help provide food and gift cards for that event. And then Next Generation also collaborated with us Thanksgiving, where they passed out the food that were given to the infirm and the elderly in the community. And then they partnered with us for Christmas on the Hill. So we do have partnerships too with other groups, so that's part of why it's not on their schedule, the reunion group schedule, since they're in charge of our events. But we do partner with them, and we have different volunteers to make sure that the collaboration kind of runs smoothly. So thank you, Ms. Darling. She's been part of making sure Next Generation is supplied with this.
I want to say something. I don't know for people that see the Christmas tree, I don't know, maybe you guys have talked about that yesterday. But that was gorgeous. Nelson Avenue was blooming. People came and asked me about it. I said, no, I don't know anything. You guys go out to these people. I mean, but, and all it just was beautiful. I just want to thank you guys for what you're doing. Because, it's a big thing to me. It should be a big thing to all of us in here. Because Liberty Hill was going down, 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 down. And I'm glad to see all you lovely ladies and lovely gentlemen and everything in here now, including myself. Attend this meeting, and I'm gonna try to participate all I possibly can.
Yes.
Thank you.
And go the chair.
Well, there's no I in team, so it took a team effort. Trust me, there are people on the top of the ladder trying to put these tree up and put decorations on. Overnight, stringing bulbs and stuff. So Lauren, Christmas tree expert, she was awesome with that. But if you don't mind me saying so, the police department actually sponsored Christmas on the Hill. They're in the community trying to build trust and solidarity. So they sponsored Christmas on the Hill. We're not gonna thank one person for that. We're just gonna blanket and thank everybody who put in their time and effort, because y'all made it happen. And it was a beautiful event, the Christmas tree lighting, to putting up the trees. And even when we took down the trees, we had a whole team that came out, and they must have spent hours taking out all that. Everybody in here put their hands to it, so we thank you. Did you want to say anything? All right, so we thank the police department for blessing us. And we keeping those decorations. We're gonna build from there. We have a whole nother group that's going to take over Christmas on the Hill next year. Yeah, okay, all excited.
All my name. I'm moving to senior building. All my name.
They're all excited. So yeah, it was a labor of love for all the volunteers that helped. So we thank everybody. But we had a wonderful team. So thank you. Even when the trees fell down, the city of North Charleston had to put them back up. We had a windstorm, and Dexter brought his crew, and they started sticking the what's those wrought iron things? Reballs. And they stuck it in the trees. So if y'all took your Christmas tree down, you saw that metal bar in there. That's because we had a windstorm. Everything fell over, and the city of North Charleston had to put it back up. So we thank them too for coming out and helping. And they didn't have to. Okay. So that's the reunion group. I'll let Charity Foundation, you want to give a report of what y'all planning for this year? Any activities y'all planning to collaborate on, or you want to
We haven't finalized our calendar yet. We'll let you know.
Okay, so the report. WOCC, anybody here from WOCC? Can I ask a question? WOCC, y'all planning anything this year?
Yes, next Saturday, I don't have the full calendar with me, but next Saturday we'll be cleaning up here on Liberty Hill. So we'll be out there at 7, we'll start properly at 8, we'll have lunch. So we say the same thing every single time. We're starting off fresh this year. We really need your support. Every single month, it's the Latino community, they come out. Our people don't come out. So please, and I hear y'all say that y'all want to clean yards, but we really need your assistance.
Tell me what all y'all do.
Just clean the roadway. It's a no, but stop the litter, spread the love campaign. So
So do y'all go to people's yards?
No.
Y'all just do the
roadway.
What day is that, please?
Saturday,
This Saturday?
the 28th.
Okay. Oh, 20,
Oh,
okay, next week.
But this in the morning,
Okay.
so we have enough time.
Okay. Because we have a town hall meeting, Pastor Holt's allowing us to use the gym, and that is that Saturday. But ours will be at 4 p.m., the town hall meeting. We're inviting the community. We're gonna lay out, the revitalization plan, what all the groups are planning for the community this year. We're asking all the organizations to come out who are working for the Hill, who's working on the Hill, to tell the community what they're doing for Liberty Hill this year. Okay? So that's, January 28th at 4 p.m.
And what time is that, Alicia?
8 o'clock, you can come out at 7, we'll have breakfast.
Where are you meeting?
Center, senior center.
Y'all usually finish by what, 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I came out at 11. So they're done by 12, so y'all, if you really want to get out there before.
Where are we?
Yeah, senior center.
What street that on?
Hassel.
Because the senior building will be opening next month. I will have flyers out and, I'll let different churches know because it's a capacity limit for seniors. So who's would like to come out, got exercise machines in there, they got lots of things where they can get bingo, keno, making things, just to get them out of the house to be involved with the mind. So that'll be opening up. I have a definite date when I'm opening.
Talking to the children, right?
No,
The seniors.
65 and over.
Excuse me, let me play.
60 and over.
Everybody.
Seniors.
How many states?
No, that's different, yeah.
It's a senior, it's a senior building on where the swimming pool is at.
Okay.
Okay, there's a Sam Hart building. Right, that's the senior building. That will be open because it was closed in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be managing that one. I'll be over that one. Okay?
You know how many days you're gonna be doing it? 2 days, 3 days a week?
What?
Is it every day a week? Every day?
No, it's from 10 to 2. No Fridays, Monday through Thursday. 'Cause I need rest.
Yeah, y'all gonna do field trips for the seniors?
Excuse me?
Field trips, so y'all gonna do field trips?
We're gonna have a field trip, making quotes, different things that, you know, they would come up with different ideas, but I'm gonna have to plan everything and put it together. Mall shopping or whatever, you know, involved with it, but
So yeah, transportation.
it's nice.
Transportation for seniors.
Yeah, we have transportation, you know, and, when you go on your trips. But I'll find out if you can't get there, most likely, we have the bus that, you know, could pick you up or whatever, but I'll find out more. But it's good involved. Bible studies and all that.
Any questions?
If I stay long, I might quit.
Is there one here from, Next Generation? Any representatives from Next Generation know what they're doing the next month or two?
It's gonna be well put together.
Anyone here from Ross Foundation?
We'll have them out there, they can do the right thing.
So Peters Foundation.
Chairman.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, she wants to do it right now. But, Deshonda, you can email me with your chronological calendar.
One thing I can say is we will be doing a reception for the home that we finalized on Mid Avenue, the first home that we built. It'll be sometime in February, and we will send out an invitation to the community.
Do you have a resident for that?
We do. And they're from Liberty Hill.
The Historical and Genealogical Society, present what you're going to do with the planning have for this year.
Yes, greetings everyone. Before I talk about what we are planning for this year, I want to ask members of our board to please stand. Please stand. Thank you. So these are members of the board of the Genealogical Society. Cookie, please stand, please.
Good.
You on the Historical Society?
Oh, yes, stand, please. All right, these are members of our board. Okay, and we do a lot of work to really play up what the name entails, making certain that we begin to look at the genealogy of individuals living on the hill, and also to begin the process of researching and to protect the interests of folks here in the hill. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. So what we're planning is, as I said, we want folks to begin to learn how to research their family history, because that's important. Because if you don't have a knowledge base of who you are and who we are, and more importantly, who we are as a people, then what is the scripture say? The people perish for lack of knowledge. For that reason, this is what we're looking at, the idea of researching. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a working board. Everyone works. We've got folks in California that we have on Zoom, in DC, Maryland, different places, and we get together. We have a beautiful meeting. We laugh, we talk about old times, we talk about experiences we had going to Von Wilson. It's just like a family when we get together. So what we're planning on March 29th, please save the date. We thought about doing this for Black History Month, but we know that tells you my genealogy. Okay, the last Saturday in March, I'm sorry. What we're going to do is we're going to have the launch of the Historical and Genealogical Society. And what we want is for families to begin to research their family history if you have not done so. And we're going to have a competition. You come with your posters, memorabilia from your family, and we're going to look at these things to judge who has done the best job as far as researching their family history. That's the beginning of this process. And it's going to be a nice affair. We're going to have heavy hors d'oeuvres. No, we're not serving collard greens and fried chicken. And we tell you that we're not doing that. Okay? It's going to be heavy hors d'oeuvres. And so we want you all to come out to that function. We will let you know going forward and what we need for you to do. So if you're interested in participating, we hope to have at least 10 families participating. And healthy competition. This is what we want. We want you to bring out the family memorabilia, like grandma's quilt or whatever. Now, you can't bring granddaddy's tractor, and you can't bring, things that we know when you fit in the building. So just know that we want you to participate. Tentatively, we have slated the law to be the area where we can come out and showcase. We'll have a small program. And again, we will have heavy hors d'oeuvres. And we just want to have a good time. The last Saturday in March. What was it? Okay, 25th, I said. Last Saturday in March. You know, our group is not a fundraising group. We're not raising funds. We need your help. So if you would love to make a donation to myself or the recording secretary of Conda, or see anybody if you'd like to give us some funds, we will gladly take it. So thank you all. March 25th is when we're going to have our launch. Just Save the date, please. Thank you.
You don't have the time yet, right?
Well, actually, for families to come out and start setting up at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Around 11 o'clock is when we're going to start the kickoff. Make sure you come out. It's not going to be a long, drawn-out program. It's a process. We want you to come out and to really enjoy each other's company. Enjoy the fellowship. That's what we want. We're partnering with the LHIC Corridor Commission. They're partnering with us. And we're looking for other groups to partner with us. We had a group who wanted to come here from Kenya. They wanted to come and be a part of this. But because of visas and transportation, well, they had the transportation, but because of visas, they cannot come again, but they're coming in July. And they just really want to connect with Black families in the United States. That missing piece that they have in these folks from Kenya. And they said they came last year to Liberty Hill to take a tour. They took a tour, but they didn't know what they were looking at. So this time we're going to have tour guides to help them to look at the site where the old barns was and used to be, etc. We're also inviting folks from the academic magazine as well as the School of the Arts. They're interested in learning more about us. So we're going to bring them out so that they know what we were about when that land was taken. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
So I think they're looking for volunteers. Are you looking for volunteers to help you?
I'm sorry?
Are you looking for volunteers to help you?
Yes, we're looking for volunteers. Again, please pass the word. We just need for you to pass the word. Also, I mean, you know I don't talk long, but also, I mean, I'd like to say that we're working hard on the learning more and doing more as far as making Liberty Hill a historical destination, getting on that national registry. So we get on the national registry, you all can begin to realize what will help Liberty Hill, what will happen as a result of that. We're working hard. We've done a tremendous amount of research. If I may say, this lady, her daughter, Conda, they don't want to see us at the library anymore. And also, just making copies. I think Conda has spent her children's inheritance making copies. This is from the heart. We do this from the heart. We're working on that now. I'm talking to folks in London. We're going to sit down and do more research. We need for folks to help us within that process. So again, we're working hard. So if you don't hear anything, just know that we're working. We're working to try to make that possible for the benefit of Liberty Hill. We always say in our meetings at the end, for the good of Liberty Hill. And that's what we're doing. This process started with Valerie. It started with Valerie and her research. And guess what? We started putting things together back in 2014. 2014. Didn't know what we were doing until God reviewed, this is why you're doing it. So thank you all.
Well, in all fairness, I found out through Mr. Hart that they did not put in for the historical designation. And so he actually gave us permission to move ahead and do that. So we're doing it on behalf of the city council and county council. Mr. Darby has endorsed it, the mayor's endorsed it, the police department endorsed it. So just know we have the politicians behind us endorsing our designation. We call Clyburn's office. They're making the decision, so it's going to come across their desk. And when it comes across their desk, they already said it's going to be a yes. Tim Scott's office, Mr. Al Jenkins, he's Tim Scott's assistant. They're on board. They already said yes. So we're at the next stage. We're up for nomination, but we still have a 12-page questionnaire that we have to fill out. And we got to get tax back numbers. We even have to get, the deeds, who owned the deeds, and research the properties. So back to the beginning. So just know it's a lot of work. So we do need volunteers who go in the libraries and research, go to the deeds office and all that. So it's no small feat. They already told us it was going to take 3 years. So just know there's no I in team. It's been a dream team working on this project from day one. So we ask that you all whoever have the expertise and don't mind being in the library, researching, please see Assistant Accountant. But so far, everybody's been working diligently and have done a wonderful job. So we just thank God for all the volunteers. Okay, next we have CDC representative.
As you all know, the president lost her sister, so she's not here tonight to present her calendar. So what I'm going to do is just kind of utilize a little portion of what the Liberty Hill Community Development Corporation, what it is. It is a newly established nonprofit operating exclusively for the benefit of the residents, to foster economic development, and to enhance the livability of the Liberty Hill community. Our purpose is to bring residents and stakeholders together, promote equity, and serve as a community resource. Our goals are to aid families and residents in the preservation and rebuilding of homes, which includes single-family, multi-family, mobile home units, in support of the Liberty Hill Development Group's work. So when she's able to, she will present a calendar and send a calendar into.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And we want to send out prayers to the Lambright family. They did lose their daughter and sister. She had a long fight in the hospital, but she's home to be with the Lord. She's better off than all of us put together. So no more suffering, no more pain. So we send out prayers to them. We did send them condolences and a beautiful fruit bouquet to the house. And that's on behalf of the Liberty Hill Improvement Council and the Liberty Hill Development. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss any groups? Any groups? Nope. Yes, sir.
Since y'all told me the calendars, we were chosen in our police department, we do a Black History Month program every year since 2015. Now, it was amazing to me when I'm thinking about when we first started, because it was the year before the Walter Scott shooting. And the next year, that 2015, when the shooting occurred, because he actually got killed in April. We did a Black History Month program in February that year. And it was kind of a bad situation, because we were trying to figure out if it was meaningful to have the 2016 one. And I said, yeah, because Black history is all the time. What we did there, we own up to, we were wrong. We were wrong. You couldn't be no worse than wrong than that. So to make it even better, we kind of revamped it to do more from the folks in the community that have actually played a big part. So we're going to have this year's Black History program, month program, February 25th, right at the Royal Gymnasium. That's where we have it all the time. And this year is going to be special because a lot of folks in Liberty Hill will get awards. We have it broken down to trailblazers, we have it broken down to pioneers, we have it broken down, and folks of different colors get it too. It's all according to what they have done to actually improve the quality of life for African Americans, in this area called North Charleston. So that's something that you can come at 10 o'clock in the morning, February 25th, free. I think we're gonna have some light, stuff like you said, light breakfast type stuff. But we're gonna have a gospel choir they're gonna come and sing. We're gonna have some kind of like Black History Month kind of trivia type things, talking about historical stuff. We're gonna have the screens up showing a lot of Black history as well. But it's actually when I took over as chief, one of the things that I saw that we had to find a way to work on. And this is my 34th year. If I lived in July, this profession. All my working years here in North Charleston. And every year I've been a cop, either at Old City Hall, at New City Hall, the people that complain about police activities look like us. I'm talking almost at 90%. Every year. So when I became the chief, I said, that's a problem. Now, I'm not saying my predecessors didn't see a problem. They saw a problem. They just didn't want to actually acknowledge the problem. So That's what I do. That's why we have a lot of these things. We have unconscious bias-based training at the police department year-round. We have racial equity training by the Y, which is actually funded by Cummins year-round. We have diversity sensitivity training year-round, as well as we have LGBT community training as well. And I do that because if you train somebody about diversity one time a year, when we have our regular AIMS training, which all officers have to go through that once a year, how you don't have a benefit there, because you actually police a population that's half and half. So if you know the complaints are coming from that area, you need to have more training to help us to navigate around those problems that we would face without it. So Black History Month is a big program, and it's ran by the white officers.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you have a chance to come out February 25th at Royal Baptist Church Gymnasium at 10 o'clock in the morning, come check it out. Understanding our culture helps us to police it a little bit.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, next one item, any other organizations? Any other, events on that need to be put on the calendar? Anybody knows? All right, a budget approval. We have approved through the, board a budget. I have copies there. It's based on the budget we had last year and the numbers of what the events cost us this year. This year we're having our 3-day reunion in September. It's usually the third weekend in September. That Friday night is usually the praise and worship night. Saturday, we're gonna keep the parade. We have a parade, and then we have seminars. The seminars is based on different things to inform the families of how to do their family trees, build generational wealth, health and wellness, things like that. And then we have like a vendor's fair along with a picnic for the community. That's Saturday. And then this year on Sunday, we will have a heritage banquet where we all dress up in our African garb and look pretty and enjoy some food and music. And that will be at Royal. Royal has been very gracious to let us use that building for little or nothing. So they've been a blessing to us. So we will be planning that. So the budget is a little higher from last year. It was 36,000 last year. Now it's 47. So if we can make a motion to approve the budget, or unless you need more time to review the budget. You need more time? Or you got a motion to approve the budget?
I make a motion to accept the budget as it is.
I second.
Okay, so motion's on the floor to approve the budget as written, and a second question? Let's vote. Those who approve to accept the budget as written, raise their hand.
Take it go.
Oh, we'll check the numbers out. We'll check. I got that. Oh, Gina, check the numbers out. Oh, y'all go to great Gina.
Check for my,
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, just know, you'll be up to date. See Gina in the back for your dues, $5 for the month, or $60 for the year. So, just be in good standing, for voting. Okay, so we're going to do bylaws review. Have everybody read the bylaws? This bylaws was approved last year. Do we need more time to read them, or are we ready for review?
Oh, okay.
Just know our bylaws have our organizational structure in it. When you explain what a president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, or parliamentarian that governs the organization, that's your organizational structure. So that's explained here in our bylaws. I can go over some of it, but I really need y'all to sign off that you understand the bylaws and that you've read them. And we have a sign-off sheet on the table for you to sign. But the first part, the name and purpose, just explains who we are and our purpose. The purpose of this organization is to simply offer a place to meet, exchange information, create projects and activities, propose solutions, and have fun. We will support the neighborhood interests and address neighborhood issues and needs. We will organize community events. We will provide opportunities for existing residents to retain and improve housing. We will coordinate and strategically plan for the improvement and economic growth of the community. We will create a vibrant community by bringing in resources to improve the quality of life of all residents. We will facilitate public community forums, and we will foster a governing network for an alliance with other community organizations for the betterment of Lidio community. Membership and dues, just to go over quickly. The membership is open to individuals and institutions who are interested in Liberty Hill and its preservation and future vitality. Usually we ask those who serve the whole office that they either live in the community, a stakeholder in the community, work in the community, or the church in the community to hold office. Our dues are $5 per month, or if you already paid the registration fee for $5, then it's $60 for the year. Those who are 75 and older, the dues are waived. The dues are waived. Okay, our meetings are usually here at 6:30 the third Thursday. And our meeting structure is usually opening prayer, minutes, president's report, committee reports, old business, new business, adjournment, and closing prayer. Executive board, we do have a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and parliamentary chaplain. And it explains those duties in the bylaws. And our elections, the officers hold office for 3 years. The assistants, we have the assistant treasurer right now. We don't have an assistant secretary yet. But the assistants hold office for a year. We hold our elections in December, and usually those positions are filled every year, but the other positions are filled every 2 years. Nominations are always open in November. You're welcome to bring or suggest people who you think will qualify to serve on our board. You bring them in November, or we appoint a number, and then we vote in December. Operations and budget, we usually, the board usually review and pass the budget, and then we present it to the membership like we did tonight. Dissolution, if we dissolve our improvement council, just know any properties that we've had operating with, whether it's cell phones, computers, printers, cars, whatever, goes back to another Liberty Hill program. The Liberty Hill program it goes to is the Liberty Hill Historical Genealogical Society, or the Liberty Hill Senior Citizens Program. Amendments, if we do amendments, all amendments for any bylaws are by 2/3 vote. So usually if you bring it to the board, and if the board approves to bring it to the floor, then you still have a 2/3 vote. You get a 30-day notice to do that. prohibition of profit sharing. Usually, because we all are working for Liberty Hill, all our organizations kind of work for the betterment of Liberty Hill, so we don't have a conflict of interest of sharing. Profit sharing is usually if you have a whole different agenda. To say you want to buy cars. You're not part of the nonprofit for Liberty Hill, working for Liberty Hill. So that's like profit sharing. So, but if we're working all together cohesively for the betterment of Liberty Hill, we don't fall under conflict of interest. Okay, so this certifies that this bylaws have been approved February 17th, 2022. And then the last page, we have just executive board guidelines, that things that we follow. Any questions? Not, if you could please sign that you reviewed it, or if you need more time, I email it to everybody, you can read it, and then we can sign up on it. Okay. Evaluation. So, every year, I've ran businesses for 30 years. Every year I ask staff, and I'm asking every person to fill out an evaluation. Let us know how we're doing, how we can make things better for Liberty Hill, how we can be better stewards, even as members, as board members, how we can work better for them. Because none of us get paid. This is a volunteer job. Some nights I get 4 hours, some nights I know Sister McFadden be up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning typing, doing grants and stuff like that. So a lot of us are working hard and we get time for it. We spend our gas money, we run errands all the way to Columbia. We have some people go pick up vegetables and fruits. They use their own gas money, their own time to do things like that. And we just want to let them know we appreciate them. But it's a lot of work. It's going to be more hard work. We need more volunteers. So we really want to know how we're doing and how we can make everything better for the organization and for Liberty. So if you can fill this out and we'll review it and implement. Okay. Any questions, observations, concerns? Okay. Y'all can take some snacks home with you if we have any left. But if no, for all hearts, minds clear, we're going to join.
Can we stand for prayer, please?
And don't forget this is what we're going to present at the town hall meeting to the mayor on Monday. All of these ideas are still open for everybody to bring your ideas and concepts. These concepts came from the community for the last 6 years. We're in year 7. 7 is never completion, right? So just know we're in year 7.
All hearts, mind clear? Father God, we come to you, I want you to know how we give you thanks for allowing us to have this meeting. Father God, as we depart from this building, we ask you to continue to bless us. And those bereaved family, we ask you to keep your loving arms around them. And those who are online, love them also, Father God. These and everything we ask these in your son Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank y'all for your patience, thank you for your time. Thank you online for being patient. This is our planning meeting, February 2000.
I come to get a candy from my brother.